and that the tempo of music can actually modulate neural oscillations, sometimes called brain waves. It can make you energized after listening to music or listen to Beethoven, for example. Did you know, Robin, there are classes that are at the University at Harvard, and one of them at Christian University, study Taylor Swift? I'm joking. Yes.
My son took Grateful Dead and Beatles, I think.
Yep.
Maybe it was just UC Santa Cruz. It was one of the Grateful Dead.
I used to love, I still do, this Taylor music. Actually, I liked her or her. Just recently, I started to listening taste for it.
Yeah. Has a class called Psychology, Taylor's version. And they take different topics and themes from her music on her life, and they apply a developmental perspective to it. Classes have centered on infidelity, revenge, attraction, and breakups. Professor Joy, during one recent class, and I know you love this song called Marjorie, it pays tribute to Taylor Swift's grandmother. One of the verses is, I should have asked you questions. I should have asked you how to be. Many of the 120 students started crying and asked if they could have a few minutes to text their grandmother or their mom or their dad. And the class was saying, oh my gosh, do we continue with class today? Because we're all very sad.
Emotional.
Yes. Knowing that Swift feels what we feel validates our emotion, the professor said, letting you know it's okay to lean into that heartbreak or joy. Her lyrics get imprinted on our brain, this professor posits. Strong emotions have an ability to alter the way memories are processed. Whether it's positive or negative emotions, they can affect the way our brain stores information. That's why we don't remember what we had for lunch 2 weeks ago, but more thrilling or traumatic situations are burned into our memory. And our brain is very good at doing that when given a cue that it should.
You know, one of the things about her is that she writes her own music.
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
And what you were saying about, it affecting memories, I think many people I know, myself certainly, there are things, good and bad, in my life that I affiliate with particular songs or music. And I'm sure she's, I'm not that familiar with the music. I've certainly heard some. It's hard not to. But I have read about her, and just that she's considered quite a great poet in a very broad sense, to be able to tell stories.
Music can do amazing things. When my child was 2, I was able to teach him how to spell his name. We made it a song, and he was able to spell his name at age 2, just through the song. Sorry.
I mean, Steph, you think about the songs that we do sing to our kid, right? Like the wheels on the bus go round and round, right? And I mean, oh my gosh, my kids are all grown, and they, I still remember that song. It's burned into your memory.
Exactly.
It really is. Naomi Tori Mackey, a psychologist at Lenox Hill Hospital in New York, says that some of her clients bring up Swift more often than you might expect, because Taylor Swift refers or alludes to themes like eating disorders, depression, and self-doubt. And that can grant permission for some people to feel like they are able to do the same. It's such an interesting that that this songwriter, this artist, has really tapped in to so many emotions, with so many people.
It's interesting when I said I'll tell you the name if you don't laugh. I thought, she is not a very developed artist or singer, Just recently I've started liking her. But I had no idea there's so much behind it that we were able to research.
It really is that, that universities would think to create a class solely on her music. As Rob said, yes, there's been classes, about the Beatles and what they've done in the Grateful Dead, but really, this is a first for a woman artist, and to be able to create a class. 60 Minutes did a whole thing on the class at Harvard,
Wow.
and yes,
And also,
Really?
she's contemporary. The class that I referred to as the Beatles, that
Yes.
was long after, decades
Yeah.
after they had,
She's young.
ceased to be. So that's much more impressive that she's still producing.
Yeah.
And secretly, too. I believe her recent album was not known to be forthcoming until it landed or dropped.
exactly. And the professor at Texas Christian University went to one of Taylor Swift's Eras tour by herself, and she wanted to see how she would be able to communicate with other Swifties that she did not know at all. And she said she spent hours having fun with a group of strangers because Swift is so positive and joyful and uplifting, and it bleeds through to her community of fans and helps cultivate an emotional attachment to her work.
She
So-
has maybe the largest following now.
She
And
she does. She has a huge
apparently
following.
She is financially one of the most successful singers. She's made over $1 billion.
Yeah. So the bottom line is today is, yes, we are joyful to have family in our lives, to see their smile, to feel the touch on the neck or the shoulder. But let's not forget that there are other things that can bring us joy: attitude with gratitude with attitude, and music. Music can bring a lot of joy to our lives.
I agree.
So that's it for this week's podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on YouTube Live. We'd love to hear your comments. We are on all social media, and our app. Please join us on our app also, our JoyScore app. Have a great week.